things like that. And the university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers.
The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday, and we need to get it done. We're not asking questions. We're not talking to the media. And so I said, okay.
To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Reports circulating online claim that Kash Patel moved quickly to remove any sign of a possible cover-up connected to the Charlie Kirk case. According to those claims, workers were instructed to excavate and remove roughly 10 inches of soil from the exact location tied to the incident. The timing of the work immediately caught people's attention, as it reportedly happened while the investigation was still developing, leading many observers to question why such a major operation was considered necessary at that particular moment. For the first time, the contractor connected to the project has publicly described what they say happened behind the scenes. Looking back at news reports from September 2025, one detail appears again and again. Utah Valley University stated that the area would be paved as part of planned renovation work. On the surface, it sounded like a standard construction project. However, the contractor's account has sparked renewed discussion by providing additional context about how the work was organized and what was taking place during that period. What was initially described as routine landscaping and scheduled maintenance soon became the subject of much wider debate.
And I get a call, and I don't answer my phones on Sunday. They left a message, and the gentleman said, hey, this is kind of weird, and he was kind of hemming and hawing on the phone.
This was 5 days later then?
Yes,
You said it was on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, on Sunday. And he says, we've got a paver emergency. I'm like, the hell is
the hell's a paver emergency?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
The contractor later claimed that the work had not been requested through ordinary landscaping or maintenance channels. Instead, according to the contractor's account, instructions came from senior officials, and the location was to be handled as an active crime scene. Those statements challenged the earlier public explanation and fueled further questions about why the site required such unusual treatment. The paving work was reportedly scheduled to begin that same weekend. The contractor overseeing the project, Dan Merrill, later shared his version of events during an interview. According to Merrill, everything started with a phone call on Sunday, September 14, which initially sounded like nothing more than a routine update. But as the conversation continued, he says it became clear that the assignment involved circumstances far beyond an ordinary construction job. One phrase especially stood out to him. He recalled hearing that there was some kind of paper emergency, a description he found confusing from the very beginning. Merrill said the wording immediately seemed unusual, leaving him unsure why something described in that way would require urgent action. At first, he reportedly considered ignoring the message because it sounded so unexpected. Eventually, curiosity led him to return the call and ask for more details. And that conversation, according to his account, changed his understanding of the situation entirely. Merrill said that once photographs identifying the location were sent to him, he realized the seriousness of the assignment.
I'm happy to call you on Monday. What's a paver emergency? So he sends me pictures of right where Charlie was murdered. And he says, we need to put pavers in this place. The guy seemed like a genuine good dude. He says, look, we don't have a whole lot of answers. We're told by, people above us that we've got to put pavers in, today and tomorrow. It needs to be in by Monday.
During the interview, he also claimed he was told the instructions had come from the highest levels of authority involved in the response. Those remarks have generated significant discussion online, although the claims remain part of his personal account and have been widely debated. As events continued to unfold, Merrill said multiple agencies became involved, including local authorities, the FBI, and the governor's office. When he arrived at Utah Valley University, he claimed that approximately 10 inches of soil had already been removed from the location connected to the investigation. According to his account, that discovery immediately raised concerns about preserving the area. He further stated that Kash Patel, who was overseeing the FBI's involvement in the matter, requested that the location be formally secured as an active crime scene to help protect the site while investigators continued their work. As this story comes to a close, one thing is clear. It has continued to capture attention because many people believe there are still questions that deserve clearer answers. Over the course of this discussion,
they had taken out about 10 inches of the dirt around the whole place, right? Right now you can see where the pavers are, everything under that. The first guy, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday.
We've looked at reported timelines, public statements, construction activity, and the different accounts that have circulated online. Some of those details come from official sources, while others are based on interviews, commentary, or claims that remain disputed. Separating those categories is important, especially in a case that has generated so much public interest. One reason this topic refuses to fade is that people naturally look for consistency. Whenever different versions of events appear, or when timelines seem difficult to reconcile, curiosity grows. That doesn't automatically mean every theory is accurate, but it does explain why conversations continue long after headlines move on. In today's digital world, information spreads quickly, and a single report can lead to countless discussions across social media, podcasts, videos, and news outlets. Another factor is timing. Decisions that may seem ordinary in one situation can attract much more attention when they occur during a widely followed investigation. Construction work, maintenance projects, or site changes can all become subjects of intense public debate if they happen near the location of a significant event. Some people view those actions as routine, while others wonder whether they should have taken place later. Those different interpretations have played a major role in shaping the ongoing conversation surrounding this case. It's also worth remembering that investigations often involve multiple agencies working together.
My broader point is that we knew once Charlie was that there was people who had prior knowledge. There was folks in the crowd, the guy who jumped up and claimed immediate credit for Charlie Kirk and some sort of a diversion. It does appear that there are more leads that we need to run down to include the foreign nexus. There was quite a few. There was a lot of international attention, I'll just say, on Charlie Kirk himself, because he was an international figure, he was a national figure.
You said that you were stopped from investigating this. Who specifically stopped you?
We were. The FBI restricted our ability to investigate.
And did that come specifically from Director Patel?
It did, yeah. It was part of a discussion that he and I had back and forth.
Local authorities, state officials, and federal investigators may each have different responsibilities depending on the circumstances. Because of that, individual decisions can sometimes appear confusing when viewed without the full context available to investigators at the time. That doesn't stop people from asking questions, but it does remind us that not every unanswered question automatically points to a larger conclusion. Throughout this video, we've discussed claims that have circulated publicly, along with the responses and explanations that have been reported. As with any high-profile story, it's important to distinguish between verified facts, personal opinions, eyewitness accounts, and online speculation. Those categories often become mixed together once a story gains momentum, making it increasingly difficult for the public to determine which information has been independently confirmed and which claims are still being debated. That challenge isn't unique to this case. We've seen it happen with countless major news stories over the years. Initial reports are often incomplete. New details emerge. Earlier assumptions are corrected. Additional witnesses come forward. Documents are released. Public officials make statements. Independent journalists conduct their own research. Each new piece of information can reshape how people understand the overall picture. Because of that, patience remains just as important as curiosity. Wanting answers is understandable, but reaching conclusions before all available information has been carefully examined can sometimes create even more confusion. Healthy skepticism means asking thoughtful questions while remaining open to verified evidence as it becomes available. Transparency is another reason this case continues attracting attention. People generally expect major investigations to be handled carefully and documented thoroughly. Whenever there are gaps in publicly available information, many naturally hope for additional clarification. Whether that clarification comes through official reports, future interviews, public records, or other verified sources remains to be seen. Until then, much of the conversation is likely to continue. The public response also demonstrates how closely people follow stories involving well-known public figures. Every announcement, interview, and update is examined in detail. Small developments can quickly become major headlines, while online discussions often move even faster than official reporting. That creates an environment where facts, opinions, and speculation can spread side by side, making careful evaluation more important than ever. No matter where someone stands on this story, one point is difficult to ignore. Everyone benefits when information is accurate, transparent, and supported by reliable evidence. Open discussion is valuable, but so is distinguishing confirmed reporting from assumptions. As more information becomes available over time, the overall picture may become clearer, and some of today's biggest questions could eventually receive more complete answers. Until then, this case remains one that continues to spark debate across many different communities. Some viewers believe the available information already tells the full story. Others think there are still important details that deserve additional explanation. Those differing perspectives are part of what has kept public interest alive, and why conversations surrounding the case continue to generate attention. Whether future developments change public opinion or simply reinforce what is already known, one thing is certain: people will continue following new information as it emerges. That's why approaching every update with an open mind and a focus on verified facts remains the best way to understand a story as complex as this one. Thank you for staying with us through this entire discussion. We appreciate you taking the time to explore the reported details, the different viewpoints, and the questions that continue to surround this story. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more in-depth coverage of major headlines and widely discussed topics, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. We'd also love to hear your perspective. What part of this story stood out to you the most? Do you think there are still unanswered questions? Or do you believe the available information already provides a complete picture? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below, because hearing different viewpoints often leads to thoughtful and interesting discussions. If you think someone else would find this analysis interesting, don't forget to share this video with friends or family who enjoy following developing stories and examining the details behind major headlines. Your support helps us continue creating carefully researched content that encourages discussion while keeping the focus on verified information whenever possible. Thanks again for watching all the way to the end. We truly appreciate every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription. Stay curious, keep asking thoughtful questions, continue looking for reliable information, and we'll see you in the next one.